Hello and welcome to the Tachiai video podcast for the Kyushu tournament coming up in just about a week. Joining me is the creator of Tachiai, Andy. Say hello, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
And the amazing world traveler and Tachiai contributor, man from exotic locations, none other than Josh. Say hello, Josh.
Konbanwa, dudes.
Very nice. Very nice. So, first blush, that the Kyushu Banzuke is full of some crazy, crazy stuff. Huge churns, with the devastation that was ripping through the top end of Aki. With the exception of Kaisei, we've got an entirely new roster up at the top end, and it's truly a glittering sight to behold. Before we get down into individual Rikshi we want to talk about, Andy, anything you want to bring up?
I think that Kaisei will have some difficulty up there in the Sanyaku. I just don't see him lasting very long up there.
Is being enormous an effective sumo strategy?
Yes, but it has to be managed. Ichinojo has proven very, very effective if he wants to be.
Come on, Ichinojo barely eked out Akachi Koshi at Aki. It looked like he was going down hard. Enormous is not a strategy.
He seems to be able to, well, when he gives up the ice cream for a little bit, and he and Harumafuji, their size can basically get them into Sanyaku alone. It's just, I guess, the health issues that come along with that size, the knees and the back. Hopefully we'll be able to see both of them have good long careers.
Okay, Josh, when you first saw the Banzuke when it was published on Sunday, thoughts, first reactions?
Let me just say I am fully supportive of however much ice cream Ichinojo wants to consume. The thing that we have to confront here when we're talking about the Banzuke, what it looks like now, is there's a lot of kilos that have fallen off with the retirement of Aurora. And so if Ichinojo wants to take the next step in his career, I'm all in support of that. So that being said, yeah, I looked at this. I thought, that area, the joy, those first 8 people who are picked to be at the top of maegashira in any given tournament and get bludgeoned into submission by the guys in the name drags. There aren't a whole lot of super inspiring names there this time. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but when you look at those names, these aren't guys who are probably going to go to the next level anytime soon. Maybe Harumafuji, we'll talk about him in a little bit, but most of the guys who are there are probably as surprised to be there as we are to be looking at this and be like, oh my God, Myogi-Ru, wow, and seeing these guys there. So again, I don't want to be throwing shade because they're about 500 ranks higher than I am, and I'm about it. So it's crazy. It's madness.
Sumo fan, second class or first class? So let's break a couple of news topics that many of our viewers may have heard about. First and foremost, Takanohana Heya gone. Takanohana decides, just since Aki, that he's not going to be in the world of professional sumo anymore. He decides he's quitting and closing up shop. He transfers all of his rikishi to another stable, and he's done. Josh, reactions to that?
Yeah, I mean, he's a controversial guy. I mean, no matter where you see anybody have a hot take on Takanohana, which I guess is what we're doing right now.
It's pretty cold. It happened a month ago.
It has this vast range of opinions about he's a legend, but he's been very divisive. And then there's a whole issue, the incident last year with Takanohana and everything that came out of that. I think in retrospect, you can look back and say it's always sad when there's somebody who is a legend of the sport for one reason or another, and we're not going to get to enjoy having them around. He's a headline creator. He's the best dressed guy at Kobuki Con at any given time that he's there.
Is it the scarf? Is it the scarf?
You don't see a lot of scarves at sumo venues. At least I have.
Especially not when it's 25 degrees or 28 degrees in the venue. Come on.
Hey, listen, it's fashion comes first.
Oh, man.
But, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I haven't published yet because Jungo's been going on the power rankings that we do on the site. But it'll be interesting to see how those guys who move over to Chiganura, Bea, influence that. They only had one Sekitori, I believe, which was Takanosho before Takakeisho and Takanoya moved over. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys get on. They're going to be in a whole new setting. They've got some new friends. They've got people who will talk to them now. So what happens? Yeah.
All right, Andy, what was your reaction when you heard that Takanohana was shutting down?
It was definitely a huge shock. But I think it was a shock, but it was still something that was long in the making over the past year. There's just been so much drama and upheaval, and I had heard that for a while he wasn't living at the Heya, and then he was living there, but the Okami-san wasn't, and there was a lot of I guess behind the scenes
things
gossip.
Weren't quite right.
So yeah, there's a lot of drama, and I think he may have made a good choice to step back and be able to, hopefully stay close to sumo.
I don't see it. I don't see an avenue for him
something
on this.
But I can't imagine him just riding off into the sunset. I'm sure that he's going to be a talento for a while, maybe.
He's going to be all over TV, and we all three know it. So one other piece of news. A few days after Aki concludes, Harumafuji does his retirement ceremony, and pop, here comes a lawsuit from Takanohana for injuries and damages. Takanohana then later withdraws his lawsuit, stating that his family back in Mongolia is getting a lot of grief for causing trouble in Japan. And then Harumafuji says, hey, I understand I was going to give you a wad of money, but your stupid lawyers got in the way. Thoughts about that, Andy?
Another hot mess.
Yep.
An interrelated hot mess that was... It's just ugly to see, unfortunately, that kind of stuff have to play out. But, well, I mean, Harumafuji was to blame for it. So hopefully this is something that can be put to bed. But I say that, and then I'm still looking down there at Terunofuji languishing down there and not sure when he's going to come back, because I'm sure that has had an impact on his past year as well. And so I think that whole saga had a lot of repercussions, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get to I guess get past it, and hopefully Terunofuji will be able to come back.
All right, Josh, reaction to the whole Harumafuji sort of exit mess.
Well, it seemed like a very emotional event. I'm kind of with you guys when it's a surprise that we're talking about this a year later. A year ago we were kind of coming off a wonderful tournament victory for Harumafuji.
Yep.
Like, wow, here's the one guy who can kind of hold things together as a Yokozuna right now in a moment where, there's no one you can believe in at the top.
Yep.
And he was kind of holding things together, and then, the incident happened with him and Takanohana. He's pushed into retirement. Now he has retired. Now we're still hearing about it. I think everybody probably wants the headlines to be about sumo.
Yes. Let's hope it can be that way from here on out. So let's talk about who's healthy and who's not. Aki was brutal, and not just to people's records. It appeared that a lot of people got chewed up by that. First and foremost, we've got to talk about the man at the top of the Banzuke, Hakuho. Hakuho fractures his knee in the middle of Jungyo. He goes back to Tokyo, gets surgery. He's staggering around now with this big bandage on his knee, and there's no way this man is competing. Thoughts about that from the rest of the team?
I'm hopeful, very, very hopeful that you're right, and he's sitting out and not even going to try to get out there, because I'm reading one of Haruth's articles.
By the way, I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you. Let us all say a moment of thanks for Haruth. Thank you, Haruth.
Yes.
You're awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Because being able to hear that he may have been trying to actually train, I'm like, what? No. Yes, I'm very, very hopeful that he doesn't even think about putting any weight on that leg or anything, just staying on the couch for another 3-6 months, heal and come back just like maniacal.
Play a lot of Candy Crush.
I always like 100% Hakuho. So.
Josh, thoughts about the boss in dry dock?
Yeah, I mean, remember a couple times ago that he was injured. I mean, it's like now everybody tends to be injured so frequently, you have to count. Well, how many times ago was it that Hakuho came back from that injury and had a triumphant speech? I think it was like 2 or 3 times ago. He came back and he said, I've been doing yoga, I've been doing all this stuff. It's like non-traditional, and that maybe that could be something that could help him to kind of do something in a moment where he doesn't have, full flexibility and full control.
Well, they tweaked on his foot during the knee surgery, it turns out. Is that same foot that he's now had surgery on. This is time number 3.
Yeah.
So you have to wonder how much longer they can use baling wire and hot glue to keep that thing together.
I think, as long as he takes care of himself, he's going to be back. We're going to see him again. I hope we don't see. I don't expect that we're going to see him this time. Nope. But sumo, just whether it's Rikishi or stable masters or whoever, have this long and distinguished habit of making those of us who go, oh, there's no way that guy's going to turn up look really stupid. So who knows? I don't expect to see him.
But so we also have another Yokozuna, Kakuryu, who is continuing to have problems with his foot. My guess is he may be able to soldier through this one and actually compete. Thoughts, Josh?
Well, if he does, then, he's done a really good job, especially this year, in less than 100% circumstances, of still being a really competitive guy, still picking up a couple of yusho. The interesting thing, not to make Kakuryu's situation about Hakuho, but Kakuho's injury opens everything up, right? Yes. So, in that situation, Kakuryu automatically, in an 85-90% health situation, would become immediately the favorite or one of the favorites. So, again, it's murky, it's nebulous to know too much about what's exactly going on with him. But if he can hold it together, you would expect for him to be very competitive this time out.
Andy, thoughts on Kakuryu?
His foot and Goeido's foot are just those enigmas to me. They are always something where I get the feeling that they're too injured to go on, and then they pick up 14 wins, and or I think that they're going to go whole hog, and they can barely scrape together a Kachikoshi.
Just to remind fans, Andy was really big on Goeido recently. It's just...
Yeah, I thought Goeido 2.0 was going to do something, and then Goeido 3.0. And
so I'll admit, though, Goeido really cranked it up at Aki. He was in the hunt the whole time.
Yeah, when he and I put him in the same boat with Kakuryu because of that foot, and their styles of when they move forward and when they're advancing, they're winning. Yep. When they're pulling, they lose.
So let's round out the Yokozuna herd, and we'll talk about Kisuna Sato, who, frankly, I was very surprised not only survived Aki, but picked up a Yokozuna's Kachikoshi. You can't tell too much from what's happening in Junyo, but now training sessions have started, and he's beating the snot out of people. He's looking actually pretty damn good. Now, how much of that is, I'll drop matches to the Yokozuna as a show of respect, but he's actually giving Takayasu the business, which I'd always said was the hallmark on whether this guy was ready to come back or not. Andy, thoughts about Kisuna Sato?
I think that this is the prime time for Kisuna Sato to, I guess, prove his mettle, because there was so much carnage around the Joy last time that you've got guys up there like Nishikigi.
We must stake our hopes on Hokuto Fuji.
There's so many of these guys that, like, I have no idea how.
Neither do they.
Prepared they are.
Neither do they. That's what's going to be so awesome about this. It's going to be a drunken barnyard brawl.
Tochiozan. I mean, Josh had mentioned Myogiryu earlier, and it's like these are guys who they had their heyday. Myogiryu was kind of a solid low-level Sanyaku for a while. But he was down in Juryo,
right,
3 tournaments ago.
Right. So
he did win the yusho down there.
Right.
But
Aki was strange because it featured this alignment of all the big guns all being in and all being healthy, and everyone else just had to take it in the shorts. Josh, thoughts about Kisuna Sato?
I love his dance. I think his dance is great. I think it's great. And I think it's great for sumo. I wonder if it's going to bring him better results, or if he's starting to sharpen up. As Andy said, he's back in practice. Things are getting real. I think 10 is a good number for him. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable or confident that he could rattle off 3 or 4 tournaments with that Yokozuna Kachikoshi. But if he's in a situation where he can win 9, 10, 11, get himself back in the best possible shape, there's no shame in that. I don't think we have to be sitting here going, ooh, Hakuho's gone. So Sato needs to come back and win 13, 14. I think, again, Hakuho is the elephant in the room, not to make Sato's situation about Hakuho, but Sato would rather be facing whoever's maegashira 5 or 6 than he'd be happy to face Hakuho. So I think Hakuho's injury benefits him in that second week, maybe in ways that we don't even think about. Sorry, Sato, I didn't mean to disrespect you.
No.
But it's true.
I think this is going to be. I just think Kyushu's going to be a lot of fun because it is just who the hell knows what's going to happen on this one. So let's talk a little bit about the rest of Makuuchi. I just want to fire off 4 things because that Banzuke is a trip. There was so much carnage at the top end that there was a lot of Banzuke luck to go around. So I'll just rattle off a few. First and foremost, Tamawashi. Tamawashi was a Komusubi at Aki. He picked up 4 whole wins. That's a big blistering 4 whole wins. So you think he got his butt punted all the way down the Banzuke? Nah. Maegashira 2. Shodai. I love Shodai. I would, and there were indications that Aki he had fixed some of the mechanical issues with his sumo, but he went 6 and 9, and he manages to get this amazing Banzuke luck. He goes from Maegashira 3 to Maegashira 4. Right? Okay, fine, whatever, guys. Let's talk about Chiyotairu. Right? Big old cannonball. 5 whole wins at Aki. Right? 5 and 10. So he drops from Maegashira 2 to Maegashira 5. And then good old Asanoyama, who's also at Maegashira 5, and he was at Aki. He gets a mild Makikoshi with 7 wins, and he just stays where he is. The chaos in the Joijin is huge. Thoughts, guys? We've got a bunch. We've got a couple of veterans. We've got Yoshikaze, Tochiozan, Tamawashi as veterans. Shodai maybe is a quasi-veteran, and then everyone else is like, who the hell knows? Thoughts, Andy?
And that's the thing is that a lot of the veterans are veterans from a while ago.
A long while ago. All these guys are sort of in their in their ride home at this point.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is that I'm wondering how much they are in their ride home and whether they'll be able to last a little bit longer, because there's just such a shelf of talent between the healthy Ozeki and Yokozuna and everybody else. And I think that there will definitely be some churn this tournament as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys, like Myogi Ryu, if he's able to put together another string of wins where if he's healthy, then he's got the talent to be able to and the skills and the experience to hang around with a lot of these young up and comers, a lot of the younger guys. So yeah, my hope is that we don't get another I guess bloodbath up there.
No, it's coming. Come on. All right, Josh, over to you.
I agree with you, Bruce. I think it's coming. I think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be disgusting, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for it.
Yes.
The signal for me, there's a really interesting stat. We're talking about Goedo a minute ago, Andy's friend, and he has, if you look at Goedo over the past few years, the reason I bring him up is there's a signal there. He has actually not won back-to-back tournaments, not won double digits in back-to-back tournaments in over 7 years until now. And those wins are coming against these guys. So, 2 tournaments ago, he beat up a bunch of guys, and then there was a shuffle. And then this last time, you think, oh, okay, it's Goedo, he's going to switch off. No, Goedo comes back and he wins,
He cranks it up.
He puts up another double-digit tournament. And, that increases the pressure on the guys who are at this level. So, we need to look at the guys above them and what kind of condition they're going to turn up in. And we talked about the Yokozuna, but everybody above them are more or less, with the exception of, you mentioned before, someone like Kaisei, but I would still expect Kaisei to do damage to a lot of these guys.
Yep.
So that's why I think we're going to see another big turnover.
Yep, I think you're right. A lot of the carnage is going to be in the first week when we're tuning up the Yokozuna and Ozeki, and they're fighting all the maegashira 1 through 3 or 1 through 4s. And so week 1 is going to be tune in every night, folks. It's worth the watch. Okay, so let's go through a few more of the Makuuchi folks. Josh, you have a few people you wanted to bring up. Go for it.
Yeah, I've got a few people. I'll try to go through these as quickly as possible. We'll start at the top of the maegashira ranks. We look at Harumafuji. He's someone who came up having never suffered makekochi. He was really impressive. Makekochi. He was really impressive start to his life in the top division. Then he had these injury problems.
He got his bell rung. The man had a concussion.
I call it the mad mata when Ryuden just absolutely bowled him over and messed up, his back, his head, his neck, concussion. And but the reason why I bring him up is he's tried to add additional dimensions to his sumo, and it hasn't all come together yet. It hasn't all quite clicked. And so he's in a part of the Banzuke now where if he can make that happen, then there's real rewards for him. And so this tournament will be a really good test of whether he can hang around, maybe more so than a lot of those other guys, and establish himself as someone who can make the next move into the named ranks.
Who else you got, Josh?
Sorry?
Who else you got?
So let's talk about Abi really quick.
Yes.
Bruce, the seer, said a few months back, imagine if this guy could use his long arms, put some of those yotsu techniques in addition to his thrusting ability. Now we've been hearing from Haruth, it's part of the Jungyo coverage. That
Excuse me. Thank you, Haruth. Go ahead.
We've been hearing that he's been trying to add that. So can he deploy, will he deploy a mix of techniques in this tournament? I think we should be tempering our expectations. Whether it all come together the first time, but I think anywhere between 6 and 9 wins wouldn't surprise me. So that's Abi. A couple other guys may say, he came up with Koto Eko, and Koto Eko looked really overmatched a few months ago when we saw him. Whereas Meisei had this tenacity that made it clear to me that even though he went down, he would bounce straight back. We've seen a lot of these pusher thruster guys come up recently, and he's someone who can work on the Mawashi. I think he's going to stick this time. I would be really surprised if he doesn't. His competition is going to be a bunch of guys in bad shape and maybe 1 or 2 guys from Juryo. So I think he'll get 8. Finally, I want to bring up Yu Takayama. Last time we did one of these podcasts, I said, "Oh, look, he's back up in the Joijin. He's going to improve. He's definitely going to do better than 2 and 13." And I was right. He got 3 wins. So that's a good look for me in my sumo punditry. All things being equal, though, if he's fit, if he's genki this time, you look at where he's at in the Banzuke, sort of in the lower middle part. I think physically and technically, he's shown he's ready to be at a higher level. I think he will be back in the Joy next time. I think he's going to beat up some old guys, and I think he's going to get 9 or 10. Those are my guys.
Just a couple of comments. First of all, Yu Takayama is the future. I never fret too much when a young guy gets up in the top ranks in his first time and gets his head handed to him. Second of all, have you guys noticed Hokuto Fuji's handshake Tachiai? Have you seen that thing?
Oh yeah.
So Andy, he's got this very interesting move where his right hand comes out almost like he's getting ready to shake hands, and he gets it inside before his opponent can get off the Shikiri Sen. It is a very interesting move, and he uses it with great effect at times. So I'm looking for him to further refine that. And it's sort of the wild card for this guy because he's starting to work a little less pushing and a little more holding. So I'm curious to see what he's going to do up at Maegashira 1. All right, Andy, who do you have up in Makuuchi you want to talk about?
I'm pretty bullish on Myogiryu. I've liked seeing that he's coming back up. It may be kind of too quick for him, his return to Sanyaku, just given how everybody got decimated last time. But it's his first time back in the Joy in more than 2 years, but he's not a stranger to it.
Well, yeah, he's had a pretty long career.
Yeah, and I mean he's been knocked out by Hakuho before. Yeah, he's no stranger to being to facing these I guess extremely good yokozunas.
The Sanyaku battle fleet.
Exactly. Like he's ready to take on the Armada. He knows what's coming, and I'm hopeful that he's gonna stick around. Maybe not get into the Sanyaku for Hatsu, but at least stick around in the Joy for a while. Kodo Shogiku, he may be I think he's found his new normal down there in mid Maegashira. Because for me that left leg, both knees, but especially the left one seems to kind of give out the second week. And so I don't know how or whether he's going to be able to push for 10 wins where he is. I'll be happy if he picks up 8 and stays there in the middle of the Maegashira. Arawashi, I'm glad to see him back in Makuuchi. He's probably one of the most versatile of these guys that I'm going to talk about. He's got more range as far as Kimarite, whereas Kodo Shogiku definitely a one-trick pony, and Myogiryu, 75% of his wins lately have been by 3 Kimarite. But Arawashi, he's got a pretty good bag of tricks.
Can he keep his injuries under control is the question.
Exactly. And so that's why I know that he's not coming back super strong from Juryo. I think he only got 8 wins. But we'll see if he can hang around in the lower Maegashira for now. And then Nishikigi is fodder for the churn. He is the one that I think will get churned
pulped and strained through a fine mesh.
Ooh.
Yes.
I love the guy. The guy never stops. The guy never quits. But this is not going to be easy to watch.
Because I don't think he's been higher than Maegashira 10 for the last
Yes, for a couple of tournaments, he was clinging to the bottom of the Banzuke, and I'm like, can he survive? Can he survive? Yeah, enjoy your Maegashira 3 posting. Have a nice day.
Exactly. He's going to be checking. I think he is the one who's primed to be a yo-yo and just bounce back down.
He's getting married to a mystery woman that no one's seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He announced his engagement and didn't have any pictures of his future wife because she likes being private. She's a sumo fan.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm very happy because he seems like an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right, so let's talk about some rikishi that we like further down the Banzuke. It's some time for the ones to watch. I'll get started and I'll talk about 3 of them. First up, everyone's got to know how much I like the rikishi from Musashi Gawa. I admit I'm a fanboy. But we'll start off with Musashi Kuni, who's he's in his past tournaments he's had 2 straight makikoshi, so I'm thinking he's due for a rebound. Right now his rank is Makushita 53, highest was 26, and he's been struggling, right? His weight's gone up, of course, because they've been packing on the pounds to get him big enough that he can compete. And just like when we were watching Ura climb through the ranks, it takes months to adjust to a larger body size. It really does. And all of this, you wonder what his mechanics are. He had this breakout tournament in 2016 at Nagoya where he went 6-1, and that launched him into Makushita, and he's been there since. So I'm looking for him to put up a pretty decent fight because I think that his weight has stabilized. I think he's gotten more comfortable with his body, and I think that we may see him, at least go Kachikoshi this time, maybe even have a 5 or 6 win tournament, which is great because he's essentially the scion of the Musashi Gawa stable. He's Musashi Maru's nephew, and would love to see another Hawaiian come up the ranks in sumo. There's nothing better than that. Also, from the same stable, I would be lost if I did not talk about my Texan, Waki Ichiro. His 12th basho, his 12th tournament in sumo, he had a crappy 2-5 record at Aki. Rumors are that he had a number of injuries that he's been working to overcome. Also, a little inside knowledge, Musashi Gawa has been trying to sort of bulk up his wrestlers. And so he too was working to adjust to a larger body size, which, like I said, it takes time. So he's back down in Johnny Dan. He's Johnny Dan 5 after a career high of Sanenmi 77. It's got to be frustrating him quite a bit, but I think he's probably going to do fairly well this time. He's been training hard. I think he's been overcoming his injury, and he's going to be good to go. And last but not least, I know our fans would be really upset if I did not mention Ura. So Ura's back. Everyone knows that. He went Kyujo for 6 straight tournaments due to a knee injury. He suffered as a Maegashira 4, after the Joy line went pretty far down the Banzuke, and I think he was facing people like Harumafuji who just threw him around like a rag doll. He started back at Sanenmi 91. He went 6-1. Proving that it's a little tougher than it looks. And now he's Sanenmi 33. Personally, I think if I were in Upper Sanenmi, I'd watch my ass. Because now that he's sort of broken the ice to get back in, and he's sort of shaken off the butterflies, this is a mid to upper Maegashira wrestler loose in Sanenmi, and you should hope, if you're facing him, to exit the dojo without injuries. And I'm really looking forward to what Ura cranks up. And I also have to admit, America is going through its daylight savings change this Sunday. And that means all of the sumo is going to start 1 hour earlier, and I'm really very thankful for that, because I'm going to be, watching up through Makushita, and so, I want to get to bed at some point. But thank goodness for that. All right, Andy, go for it. Who's your ones to watch?
Well, Goku Shindo off of his yusho.
Yay, Goku Shindo. He looked good.
Yeah, and I'm very, very eager to see him advance. I think he's going to be up in the Maegashira pretty quickly. But I guess the ones that I want to watch are the senior citizens down in Makushita.
Are you poking fun at your associate editor?
No, no.
You get off my lawn, you young whippersnapper.
I mean, we've got a lot of veterans down there who will be really gunning to get back up into the professional ranks, like Sakokurai, Toyo Hibiki, and Gagamaru is just there on the cusp. You know that these guys want to be back up in the Sekitori class. I'm not, and they definitely have the size. Well, in the case of Gagamaru and Toyo Hibiki, they've got the size, and so Kokurai has the skills, but do they have the health to get them the 5 wins that they're gonna really need to come back up? And so I'm very hopeful that they're gonna be, that we'll see them again soon.
Cool. Josh, ones to watch further down the Banzuke. Go for it.
Let's get in there. Talk first about a guy in Juryo who I've been talking about for a bit on the site, and that's a guy named Tomokaze.
Yay!
A big, I call him, he's a big bopper. That's what he is.
He is
I
a big
love this
bopper.
guy. He's from one of Bruce's favorite stables, Oguruma Beya. He's, the stable suffered a little bit lately in terms of guys we've known and loved for ages, Yoshikaze, Takekaze, and they've kind of fallen away a little bit, but they have this great Pardon?
Amakaze.
Amakaze, that's right. He fell straight through the trapdoor. And now they have this crop of new guys coming through. Yago is probably unlucky not to make it up, but Tomokaze is joining him. He is an extreme pusher thruster, and he's joining a division where he may need a little bit more guile. But we've seen people with his type blow through that division before, so I'll be expecting a Kachikoshi this time.
Nice.
Naya,
Yay.
we all know to be Taiho's grandson, the legendary Yokozuna. Everybody has expected him to be a future star, to the extent where even you go to Kokugikan and Daimon Kinoshita, the artisan, even sells Naya postcards, Naya artwork already.
He sells out Naya postcards.
He sells out. It's remarkable. And people, there's already so many fans of this guy. People are pulling for him. He had his first real setback last time, though. He went 3-4, and he's finding himself now pushing to get promoted back up to Makushita next time out. I had kind of a first half of 2019 ETA for his arrival to professional ranks, and so I think this tournament is the bellwether as to whether or not that's going to be accurate, or we see him a little bit later if he can stay on that track. Next 2 guys I want to talk about are people that you probably haven't, people on the site haven't heard too much about before. One of them is called Maekaru, which is his given name. And there was a good conversation, actually, with Bruce and I think it was Alzino on Twitter the other day, who posted an article from the Philippines about half Filipino Rikishi in Japan. Maekaru goes by his given name, which is obviously super rare to begin with. His last name is Hayashi, which he went by before. And he's someone who's averaged 5 wins a tournament over his first year in sumo. He's been consistently good. He's now on the cusp of promotion to Makushita, so I'm looking for him to do well. He's moved over to the new version of Futagoyama Beya, which is obviously a historically incredible stable. So he may be the first Rikishi of that new incarnation of the stable to really make a dent in sumo world. Finally, Bruce sort of got off the starting line with the American Rikishi baton, so I'm going to take that from you and pull in a really interesting character who is new to the Banzuke. He goes by Ryuga, which is his middle name. He is making his first appearance at Jonokuchi 27. We may get to see a fantastic match with Hattori Zakura.
Oh my God!
His given name is Corvin Delzato. He is apparently Italian-American Japanese. And so the guys over on Sumo Forum have posted about him for a little bit. There's some curiosity, like earlier this year, when's he going to make his debut? And then he didn't. And then, he's gone. So now he's here. He went 2-2 in Maizumo, and he lost to 2 guys who were a Banzuke guy. So he's going to be the highest-ranked debutant this time out. I wouldn't necessarily call him a prospect, but for those of us stateside who like to follow these interesting people, Corvin Dalzado, a.k.a. Ruga, is going to be someone I'm going to look out for his results for sure.
Especially because he's going to be on early in the night. I can watch him.
Exactly.
So, one of the things that's really driving Naya is his rivalry with Hoshishoryu. From what I understand, those guys taunt each other on at least a weekly and sometimes daily basis. And a good rivalry is one of the best things for sumo. So let's, heading into the home stretch here, let's do some predictions. Josh, we'll let you go first. Predictions for the Kyushu Basho.
It feels like an Ozeki Yusho tournament for me.
Will it be Takayasu's first?
Oh, I never want to say it's his time because he's so frustrating. And sometimes you just have to remind yourself that a couple of years ago, he was trying to consolidate Sanyaku like someone like Takakeisho is doing now. This year for him, though, should have been his for the taking. This tournament, to me, feels like a tournament that's his for the taking. But, his main magical training buddy, Sato, hasn't been around for a while. Now he's back. Maybe he can do it. But, his shoulders fell apart, everything. It was a mess. So maybe this time he can pull it out. I'm so loath to say that Takayasu is kind of the favorite for anything. But, it could be him. Dare I say it, it could be Goedo. I would love to see Tochino Shin do it. But with Hakuho out of the way, with Sato not necessarily, in a position where we're looking for him to challenge, Kakuryu with some injury problems, with Takayumi having frittered away his moment last time, it just feels to me like it's an Ozeki tournament for me.
All right, Andy, predictions.
My predictions, well, these first two are my hopes. Hakuho and Tachiai not showing up yet. I really want to see these guys back when they're 100% healthy. And Tachiai, I know he's going to, if he doesn't show up, if he's not competing, he'll fall even further down the Banzuke. But we're seeing right now with Ryuden at his high up there at maegashira 3 that it is possible to come back, and it's possible to come back quickly, especially when you've got the talent and the size of somebody like Harumafuji. Ikioi and Endo, I see them suffering through this tournament and probably falling a bit further, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, Endo's not got much farther to fall down at maegashira 12.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they may. Endo has come back from Juryo.
Nah, they're not going to put him in Juryo.
Lately, he's been so listless, and when he gets in one of these funks, he doesn't seem to. I mean, the spark seems to be gone. So I'm hoping he doesn't fall back down there. But I don't see him picking up much more than 8. And
what do you like for the yusho?
That's the kiss of death right there.
Guido.
That is the kiss of death. I'm gonna go with Kakuryu.
Ooh, yeah. A gentleman's choice. Very nice.
Yeah, I think Kakuryu is gonna pull this one, especially with Hakuho hopefully gone. And I am a little bit curious about whether the displaced Takanohana fans are going to kind of I don't know how many of them are going to leave the sport, or whether they're going to kind of coalesce around Takakeisho now that he's like in Chikara. So I hope they'll hang around.
Okay. I'll close out with mine. I know this is going to be controversial, and I'm ready to take the heat. I think it's a Kisuno Sato Takayasu Yusho.
What?
Oh, yes. I think the Great Pumpkin is going to quite possibly deliver. Is that he has a reserve of genki that he's been working on for a year, and he's going to whip that damn thing out. And we're going to watch him dance, and we're all going to smile. And all of Japan... And all of Japan is going to weep and drink and throw up, and they're going to be very happy about it. Furthermore, I will dig deeper. Ichinojo goes Maki Koshi, Takakeisho goes Kachi Koshi and takes a Sekiwaki spot. Ooh. In addition, okay, now I'm really putting them out there. like some tanuki with a freak show going on. Nishikigi and Ryuden are both going to go Kachikoshi up at Maegashira 3. So watch out. If you think it's weird now, just wait for Hatsu. All right, guys. Leaving you dumbfounded with looks on your face like I can't believe you just said that. We're going to wrap up the Kyushu Banzuke podcast. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Josh, for joining up. It's been as fun as it looked. It's always great. Folks, thank you for watching all the way through this. We've had a great time presenting it. And remember, when you think sumo, think Tachiai.